The NHL season is coming to an end. But things are really just beginning for today's two teams. This Avalanche seems to be at its peak with a scoring flurry that shows no signs of letting up. And with the NHL's all-time winningest goalie between the pipes, Colorado's on a Rocky Mountain high, looking for their second Stanley Cup. But today, their sights are on an undefeated season versus the Blues. Norris Trophy candidate Al McGinnis and leading scorer Pavel Demitra look to change that tune. And in the twilight of his career, Grant Fuhr reaches for another run to the Cup. It's time to get in tune for the playoffs. It's the NHL on Fox.
Let's get busy.
Welcome live to the Kiel Center in St. Louis for a great Western Conference matchup between the Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NHL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen. 1 week to go in the regular season, and there's still playoff positions to be determined. You look at the Western Conference race, Colorado Avalanche are seated number 2. Right behind them, Detroit and Colorado would like to hold off the Red Wings because if they meet in the second round, it would give the Avalanche home ice advantage. I'm joined by Joe Micheletti. And Joe, the Avs have geared up for a run at the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they really have, Sam. When they won the Cup a couple of years ago, they had obviously a wonderful feeling in their locker room. They feel that same way now, so they're ready to go.
And they are led by the great acquisition of Theo Fleury. He has really come in and made an impact.
Well, here's a player that's won a Stanley Cup in Calgary. He can score goals, and this was a team that already could score with just about the best in the league, and now they bring his experience as well and his leadership. They're much better. Add to that, you've got Sandis Ozolinsh, who missed the first part of the season because of a contract dispute. He's like a fourth forward on the ice. You always have to watch him. He can do some great things from coming from behind.
Now, if we look at the bottom half of the Western Conference playoff bracket, you see the St. Louis Blues sitting at number 5, just ahead of Anaheim and San Jose. The Blues, given a preference, would rather face Phoenix than Detroit or Colorado in the first round.
No one wants to play Detroit for some odd reason. Can you believe that? The Blues are playing their best hockey of the year as well. They've only lost twice in their last 8 games, and one of the big reasons is because of their goaltending. It's been a struggle all season long. Grant Fuhr is now playing his best hockey. He was injured early in the season. His knee bothered him all season long. He finally decided to have knee surgery. Now he's back to playing in top form.
And he has 2 of the best defensemen in the NHL in front of him. One of them right there, Al McGinnis.
Well, they do everything. Their power play is one of the best in the league. Their penalty killing, one of the tops in the league as well. McGinnis is going to win the Norris Trophy as the league's best. Chris Pronger not having as good a season as a year ago, which was excellent. He's had an ankle problem, now playing as well as he has last year.
Sets up a real good matchup. Colorado and St. Louis. Susie Culver is coming along. We'll be back with the start of the game right after these messages from your local Fox station. Thanks so much, Susie. You look at Patrick Waugh with 410 career victories, 99 more in the playoffs. 30 wins on the season. Look at that record, 30-18-8. That's after a 1-6-1 start. So he has really put things together, helping lead the Avalanche to a division win. We've got a huge crowd here. Looks like a sellout crowd for the second consecutive game at the Kiel Center. Friday night, the Blues played a 1-1 tie with the Detroit Red Wings, and everybody felt it was a playoff atmosphere.
I happened to be in the building for that one, Sam, and it was. You walked in, and there was just a buzz going throughout this building. And Joe Quenneville's team right now is playing as well as they have all season. Now in his 3rd season as the Blues head coach.
After leaving Colorado, where he was the assistant coach, and coming to St. Louis. And there is the rookie head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, Bob Hartley, who's done an excellent job. In January, in the middle of the season, his team was 2 games under 500. Since then, they've exploded with a 25-7 mark, plus a couple of ties in there, and they have really played well.
No, they started the season 0-4-1, and everybody wanted his head. There were some real bad things going on in Colorado, and he wasn't getting much support, but he was able to turn things around.
The Blues and the home white have Pierre Turgeon with Scott Young and Scott Pellerin. On defense, Jeff Finley and Al McInnis. This is Theo Fleury, number 14, with a high shot that's knocked down by Grant Fuhr. Rebound, Milan Hajduk is saved by Fuhr. Hajduk, an outstanding rookie, number 23. Fleury, number 14, and Joe Sakic, number 19. On defense, Adam Foote, number 52, and Alexei Gusarov, number 5. Along the boards, Sakic playing it in the corner. Hayduk gets it back to Sakic. He's wrestled around by Pierre Turgeon. Sakic works it down the boards. Strong shift for Colorado to start the game.
Well, they came right out skating and shooting, and that's one of the reasons why they've had some success lately. Their big guns are shooting the puck, and they're led by Fleury, who's playing the left side, being a right shot. He can shoot from any place on the ice, and he's dangerous. Back
come the Avs again. Adam Foote brings it deep against Chris Pronger. Two big defensemen bang, and they both go down. Hard hit by Pronger. Mike Eastwood, number 32, able to work it ahead. Avs take it back. Well, and Foote and Pronger going at it down in the corner when they were both on the ice. And back a couple of years ago was Adam Foote with a two-handed slash on the wrist of Chris Pronger. And they've had a battle and a war going on for a long time, even though they were teammates at the Olympics. Here they come. Foote getting ready for the hit. Pronger, now watch as they go down. His foot, his left hand there. Oh. Right, kind of a couple of little punches in and gets up and goes the other way. See you later. So two outstanding defensemen. Talking to Joel Quenneville yesterday, who used to coach the defense with the Avalanche and Quebec. He said that Adam Foote may be one of the top 5 defensemen in the league right now.
Yeah, and playing well. And he says the thing that people don't talk about is his speed. He thinks he's the quickest defenseman on this Colorado team, which might have the quickest 6 in the league.
Ricard Pearson on with Chris Pronger for 23 for St. Louis. Blair Atchingham behind the net against Aaron Miller for Colorado. Mike Eastwood works it behind for Pascal Rayom. Rayom hit there. Puck comes loose in the corner. Rayom plays it. Miller on him. The back pass to Pronger. Tries to work it down the boards. Hard-working board game thus far in both ends of the ice.
This is the checking line for St. Louis. Joe Quenneville is going to play his checking line against the Peter Forsberg line, and then the offensive-minded center iceman Pierre Turgeon against Joe Sakic. Sakic won the battle the first shift.
And Forsberg's line goes off without getting the puck into the offensive zone. Lefebvre for Colorado moves it out. Worked ahead for Lugos Bartechko, number 56. He's checked by Lefebvre. All along the boards. That's Picard. Works it around the boards. It hit the helmet. Played by Bartechko. Bartechko drops it off. Centering feed. Good shot by Bartechko. Save made by Waugh. Pavel Demitra, the leading scorer for the Blues, battling along the boards. Was taken down by Stefan Yell. Bartechko goes for the puck. DeVries hits him. Bartechko went down. Yell works it up the boards and out.
And Sam, this has been a mean, tough game here to start. Players on both sides really finishing their checks, but they're finishing them with authority. So we're seeing a lot of players hit the ice.
A little over 4 minutes gone by in the first period. Lefebvre able to work it out. It's stopped by Terry Yates. Trying to bring it back in. DeVries able to work it across. And Jeff Odgers lifts in. Odgers with Dale Hunter, who's been a very valuable addition, coming back to the franchise with which he started, Quebec/Colorado, and a happy guy to get a chance to make a run at the Stanley Cup.
And a nice thing by George McPhee, yes, the Washington Capitals, their general manager, giving Hunter an opportunity to almost go to a team that he chose just for an opportunity to win a Stanley Cup.
Offside whistled on the play. 16-10 to go in the first. No score. Reichel of Colorado for high sticking, so the Blues go on the power play.
Yeah, Blues on an early power play. Here it is, right side, as Reichel ends up getting, oh, pardon me, that wasn't, it was right here, as Reichel ends up getting the stick.
The post. Pronger, McInnes, Turgeon, Young, and Demitra for the power play for St. Louis. Adam Foote, Alexei Gusarov on defense for Colorado with Stefan Yell and Sean Podine the forwards. And Podine with quite a blast that banged off the post. And the puck frozen in the corner.
Well, Podine, very good penalty killer. They wanted him for that role in the trade with Philadelphia. Here's the shot again. Really let it go. Grant Fuhr was well out. Seemed to have the angle cut down, and that shot just off the left post and out the other way. But Podine has given them more penalty killing depth up front than they had with in the trade with Philadelphia that sent
Keith Jones.
Keith Jones.
Oh, that's
Thank
the
you,
name
Sam.
you were groping for. Excuse me.
Yeah, Keith Jones, of course, has played well in Philadelphia. And Sean Podine, when he first came over, broke his leg, but he's an excellent penalty killer.
Yes, he is. Face-off win by Turgeon. Pronger looks toward the net, plays it instead to Scott Young.
Thanks for the help, by the way.
Yeah. I didn't know where you were going with that. Then I kind of figured it out. Took me a while. I'm a little slow here on the afternoon game. McInnes moves it to Turgeon and gets it back. Sakic and Fleury out now for Colorado. Down low, back behind the net, Scott Young. Chris Pronger playing it out. Gets it back from McInnes. Now sets up McInnes for the big drive and a save by Juan. It's cleared out.
And a good save. And what Colorado's going to try and do, killing penalties, is they're going to try and cheat a little bit on Al McInnes and stay a little closer to him.
Fleury with a takeaway and a trip by Al McInnes. And a penalty call that ends the power play. Quick move. That's a quick Theo Fleury move. He just snuck in behind McInnes and got around him.
Yeah, McInnes fakes a shot and then is going to try and make a little move. And Fleury says, no, I'm staying with you all the way. Knocks the puck. And there it is. You can see the stick right on the skate of Fleury, who goes down to the ice. And so that nullifies the remainder of the Blues power play. So 46 seconds, we'll play 4-on-4 hockey, and then Colorado will have their first power play of the game.
McInnes for tripping at 5:04. And when you put Al McInnes in the penalty box, that takes a big chunk of the Blues play out of the lineup because he plays so much time. Played over 36 minutes against Detroit Friday night. He plays on the penalty kill, on the power play at even strength. He's almost always on the ice.
And he should know that he can't beat Theo Fleury with a move like that. For all the years they were teammates in Calgary.
That's right.
Won a Stanley Cup together there.
Played in deep to the Blues zone. Picked up by Brad Shaw. He's checked by Chris Drury. Took it away. Centers for Ozolinsh. Big shot goes over the top and off the glass. Aaron Miller, Sandis Ozolinsh, Milan Hajduk, and Chris Drury, the two outstanding rookies. Hajduk and Drury, top two scoring rookies in the NHL, are on the ice together. Leading candidates for the Rookie of the Year honors. Drury checked by Shaw. Shaw and Finley on defense for St. Louis, with Blair Atchingham and Terry Yake the forwards. Aaron Miller across to Sandis Ozolinsh. The Avalanche on the power play right now.
Now we saw that 4-on-4, pardon me, Sam, and Ozolinsh able to move in. That's what makes him so dangerous, is that he's got that ability. He's such a great skater. He's effortless, and he can just move in and out of the scenes looking for the opportunities.
And here he comes. When he signed his new contract, the Avs took off. Along the boards, Forsberg. In front, it's cleared, but into the bench. As Rickard Pearson tried to clear it, but he fired it into the bench, stopping play, and the faceoff stays in the blue zone. 47 seconds to go on the power play.
Well, and Peter Forsberg, whose contract is up at the end of this year, and Sam, we talked about Theo Fleury. He's unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. Peter Forsberg is restricted, so they're going to have to try and get him signed. Joe Sakic's got 1 year remaining on his. And the same agent has all three. Don Baisley out of Winnipeg as is representing all three of those great players.
Nice hand here, Joe. They flashed this up on the board, and they saw you return home to St. Louis. Big cheer.
That's very nice. That's very nice. A lot of good people here in St. Louis.
Blues with a takeaway, and again it's put into the bench by Rickard Pearson. Is he trying to get somebody on the bench on his own team?
Jimmy Roberts
fired it into the bench twice.
Jimmy Roberts, who changes the defense for the St. Louis Blues. Maybe he's not getting enough ice time. Now, Rickard Pearson is a player that wasn't really counted on at the start of the season, but he got himself in much better physical condition, and they really feel good about the way he's played.
And now with Mark Bergevin out, scheduled to undergo abdominal surgery, he becomes more important to the Blues on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mark Bergevin was really, for the most part, hurt all season. He took about a month or 5 weeks off, tried to recover from the abdominal problem, and just couldn't. And that's a blow to this team because he was very reliable defensively.
Ozolinsh, Fleury, Forsberg, Sakic, and Lemieux. Four forwards. Fleury playing one of the points on the power play for Colorado. Here's Lemieux moving in on Chris Pronger. Backhander tipped away by Fuhr. Pronger and Pearson, Pellerin, and Eastwood for St. Louis. Now Eastwood goes off, and Blair Atchingham comes on.
Pellerin, who just goes off the ice now, is a dangerous forward for St. Louis. He and Joe Sakic lead the league in shorthanded goals with 5 each.
Power play is over. Each team 0 for 1. Lemieux with a shot blocked by Pearson. Terry Yake moves the puck and it bounces out to center. Atchinham's got it. 12:45 to go in the first. No score. Shot by McInnes, deflects to the crowd, and play stops. 12:43 to go. First period in St. Louis. Avalanche and Blues are scoreless. Against the Colorado Avalanche, they have been shut out 3 times. They did play a 0-0 tie in one of those shutouts.
Yeah, but look at this, Sam. I mean, the shots favor St. Louis. The chances, scoring chances, also favor the Blues here. And yet, it's been the goaltending of Patrick Waugh, who has got 3 shutouts in Colorado. And the only goal that the Blues have scored has been against Craig Billington.
Yes.
The backup.
The Avalanche unbeaten in their last 8. They've been playing well. Beat Nashville earlier in the week. Dimitra keeping the puck alive, try to center. It's taken away by Podine, who clears the zone.
And that's something that Colorado has really worked on as of late. We know they're an excellent offensive team, but defensively, they've been working on that also, and they've been much better.
Shot by Podine was kicked away by Grant Fuhr. Pearson to the puck, takes a hit. Good forecheck by the Avs. Take the puck away. Stefan Yell moving around the net. Pressured by Rickard Pearson. Pass blocked. Sean Donovan takes over. He was scratched in the last game. He's been in and out of the doghouse recently. Save, rebound, score! Great shift by Podine and Yell and Donovan, and it comes up with a goal. Sean Podine, great effort by the Avalanche.
Well, they attack the net, Sam, and then they get a defenseman that moves up to also join in the forecheck. And that's, we talk about the Colorado speed on defense. And this man right here turns out to be the 4th man in. But look how quick they are to the net. All 3 players. And they just keep going. I mean, they just keep skating. They keep moving the puck. There's a little pick over here. Now the defenseman DeVries moves in. And he turns out to be the key player making the play. Here it is. Watch, he'll move in right now. He's got the puck. Now it's 4-on-3 down low. He gets it to the front of the net. And Podine is able to put it into the empty side. So just at the proper time, their defense get involved in the play, and that leads to the goal. And now they're...
It is being reviewed. Let's see, with someone in the crease.
Now there's one. The puck is already there.
And now the puck is out.
Oh, you see the left foot. Watch right in that. Oh, pardon me.
Joe, if they wipe this one, it'll be another one of those cases where they've got to change it. No goal. This is, again, one of the ridiculous part of this rule.
There it is, right there. And the puck is now coming this way. And you're right, Sam. It's something that they have got to change.
The puck was in the crease. It came out. His skate was still in the crease. He reached back. He scores a goal, and you take it away. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just awful.
Yeah. And Bob Hartley wants to have a conversation with Joe Sakic, the captain. And he just went over and confirmed it.
There is a good effort around the net, scoring a goal that is negated because of the ridiculous black and white of the rule, which says his toe was in the crease, even though the puck came out. And
it's a terrible rule. It should. It bothers a lot of people. It's a terrible rule that they need to go in the room, the general managers and the owners of this league, in the offseason and get that straightened out, and they can't let it go past this year.
Fleury works his way into the Blues zone. It's taken out, so the game remains scoreless as the goal is wiped off. Sakic centers to Fleury. Fleury's shot is blocked by McInnes and taken the other way by Pierre Turgeon. Turgeon across against Kucherov with a good play to force it out of the zone.
Now, another thing St. Louis did not want to do in this game is turn the puck over in the neutral zone, because Colorado is as good at countering offensively as anybody in the league. With their quickness and their ability to score, they can get right on top of you immediately.
Hunter moving it to Warren Reichel. His shot deflected. Bounces in front. Odgers missed it. Reichel's got it back. The backhander is blocked. Warren Reichel just back a few games from hand surgery, and he seems to be pretty good, holding the stick well and able to maneuver the stick pretty well on that play.
He grabbed me by the arm before the game and squeezed and see, I'm not bad. I said, no, you're ready to go.
10:45 to go in the first. No score in the game. Puck kept in by Aaron Miller. High shot off the glass. Around the boards, Jamal Mayers chips it clear.
But he also said, Sam, he said, you know, not that handling the stick is all that important in my game.
But if he has to drop him. Miller pass across, went through, played by Pronger. Avalanche starting to change. Pronger sends it around the boards. Chris Drury caught up with Jamal Mayers, able to work it out of the zone. Guinness holding back. Gave it up. Ozelinch leaves it for Forsberg. Peter Forsberg moving in on Jeff Finley. Forsberg around the net. Stays with it. Nice move. Forsberg looking to make a play. Double team by Yake and Finley. Finley takes it away. And outlets to Blair Atchinham. Atchinham knocked down by Sylvain Lefebvre. Puck still alive. The Blues move it. McInnes wide open. Fakes again, and he tried to change a pace on one. Waugh stopped it. Al McInnes, known for the 100-mile-an-hour shot, went for the change of pace.
He was trying to get Patrick Waugh to move laterally, and Waugh would not move to his left, which would have left some room over on the other side. He kept coming straight out at him, and he stayed with him. He was real patient.
Sean Donovan's shot misses the net, bangs off the glass and around the boards, kept in by Stefan Yell. Pace is picked up. Actually, it's been a pretty good pace all along. It was hard grinding along the boards. Now that we're seeing some good skating and end-to-end action.
Well, St. Louis is having a little bit of a problem in the neutral zone. Colorado, they're breaking up a lot of plays, and they've had 3 or 4 rushes here in the first period because of turnovers in the neutral zone, and they've been able to come the other way and gain the blue line.
Puck taken away from Gusarov, tries to recover. Turgeon tries to move it. Gusarov able to get it and play it around the boards to Sean Donovan. Donovan lost it to Scott Young. There's a penalty called on the play. A hooking call. And then an unsportsmanlike conduct call is added to that. 8:47 remaining.
Has the puck. You'll see a stick come from this area. That's the stick of Scott Pellerin. He'll catch him on the wrist. Donovan goes down. The initial call was going to be hooking, and then because Donovan embellished the call by going down, he gets an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for diving.
So each man gets 2 minutes, and the team skate 4 aside. 11:13, the time of the penalties. Lead from Fleury to Sakic. Whistle for an offside. They'll bring it back. 8:33 remaining. First period, no score.
And now up front, Sam, you've got Joe Sakic with one of the best wrist shots in the game. Ozelinch, we keep talking about him, but he's so dangerous. He moves up on the play. He's always up. You just have to watch him. And on a 4-on-4, a defenseman is most dangerous because of that additional room. So Ozelinch is a guy that can skate, move up on the play here. And then you've got McInnes with his excellent shot. Even though he doesn't skate as well as Ozelinch, you've got to watch him sneaking in as well.
Terry Yake with Pavel Demitra for St. Louis. Yake is tackled in front of the net by Ozelinch. Nothing called on the play. Fleury's pass is knocked down by Yake. Yake and Demitra, McInnes and Finley for St. Louis. Fleury spun Demitra around. Fleury and Sakic with Foot and Ozelinch for Colorado. Finley able to clear it out. Demitra gets to the puck. Demitra against Ozelinch. Ozelinch without the helmet. Demitra keeps it alive, and then it's taken away by Ozelinch.
You could see how strong Demitra was on the puck. Ozelinch trying to defend against him. He's a bigger player than Demitra, but Demitra does a lot of work on his leg strength.
Scott Young moves in, blocked by Gusarov. Good defensive effort by the Avs.
St. Louis is just not getting the shots. They're getting a few opportunities in pretty good prime shooting areas, but they're not shooting it.
Forsberg, drop pass. Lemieux's shot missed the net. Bangs off the end boards. Pronger moves it, and Scott Young gets to it. Cross for Turgeon, who leaves it for the captain, Chris Pronger. Now Pierre Turgeon over the 30-goal mark once again this season. Wrist shot is saved by Waugh. Missed on the rebound. Claude Lemieux.
And now the shots 5 apiece. And St. Louis, the best in the league at keeping shots against down. And here they are 0-3-1 against Colorado this season. They've given up an average of less than 20 shots per game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But a tribute to the play of Patrick Waugh. Teams are back at full strength. And Drury took a hit, sent the puck in deep. Ricard Pearson looks up ice for St. Louis. The Blues unbeaten in their last 5, 3 wins, 2 ties, and unbeaten in their last 4 home games with 3 wins and a tie. And picked the right time to play well. It's the best streak of the season. They're 8-3-3 in their last 14. 3 games over 500. Chance in front. Atchingham missed the net. They have never been 4 games over 500 this season. Eastwood checked by Ozolinsh, who takes the puck. Hayduk moving it to Sean Donovan. Donovan against McInnes. Yell is hit. Puck slides in front and is chased down by Jeff Finley. Good pickup for the Blues from the New York Rangers, who's played very steady on defense.
Yeah, almost the coaches for St. Louis almost talked with a little bit of surprise that Finley has played this well. They expected him to come in and be a steady defenseman, but he has surpassed everyone's expectations.
Lubos Bartechko going wide against Kucherov, gave up the puck. 5.5 minutes to go, first period of a scoreless game. Bodine sends it in. This is the last home game of the season for the Blues, who go on the road for their final 3 to Anaheim, Phoenix, and then end up the season in Los Angeles. Chance in front was blocked. Pronger moves the puck, and that is legal in the defensive zone with the glove. Dumped it ahead of Picard. This is Bartechko. Good. Slowed down on the hook by Kucherov, and Foote takes over.
And what a defensive play by Chris Pronger. 2-on-1 in front of the net, and Pronger at 6'6" slid down, had his stick on the ice as well. And there's just no way that you can get the puck through him to the man that was wide open in front of the net. Perfect defensive hockey.
Takes up half the ice.
Yeah.
Pellerin working against Kucherov in the corner. Kucherov checked by Young. Kurjan trying to dig it loose. Now it's Kurjan playing it. Scott Young. Off the stick of Pellerin, and it dribbles into the crease in his glove by Patrick Waugh with 4:34 to go in the first.
Looks like they've got time and room to make an offensive play. Jeff Odgers looking for Joe Sakic. Who's there? What a defensive play. Chris Pronger, 44, slides down to make the play, has the presence of mind to grab the puck and slide it over to his other partner. There it is again. What a play by Pronger. And that's something that Joel Quenneville has really taught his defensemen how to do. Odd man rushes, slide down, and force the puck carrier to make a perfect play, which Pronger did there, and Odgers just simply couldn't. Most players can't when you've got Pronger, his size and his ability, down on the ice taking everything away.
Eastwood and Drury for the face-off. Pascal Rayon winds it to Mike Eastwood, try to center, and Drury in good position to play it up ahead for Forsberg.
That's something Colorado does very nicely in their own zone. They come back. All 5 players come back towards the net in deep to help out.
Both teams are missing some key players who, when they return, just add to the overall strength. Good shot by Atchingham and a save by Waugh. Adam Deadmarsh and Valery Kamensky still out for Colorado. Deadmarsh with an eye injury took a punch in a fight with Jason Smith of Edmonton, and they're waiting for the blood to clear. He is day-to-day, and Kamensky, they hope, will be back in the second round of the playoffs. He was slashed, and his arm was broken, and they certainly, when those guys are back, just adds to the overall talent and depth of the Colorado Avalanche.
Well, that's why you have to give them certainly a very good chance to win the Stanley Cup. Again, I think that their goaltending is the best in the West, with Patrick Waugh and his experience and the way he elevates his game in the playoffs. You saw a look at Mark Hunter there, or pardon me, Dale Hunter on the bench. So they've got plenty of experience,
yes,
plenty of scoring. All their defensemen are healthy now, which is obviously important.
And maybe the best skating defense in the league.
Yes.
They move it well. Put out in front. Dimitra shot saved by Waugh, and he covers up. Pavel Dimitra, always dangerous around the net. 3:49 to go in the first period. We're into the final week of the season. The team's jockeying for position. We talked to Al McInnes of the Blues about the position for the playoffs.
You know, there's going to be a lot of energy, and we haven't done well against Colorado. They've really shut us down this year. I think we've only scored one goal in 4 games, and that's just not that's not acceptable. And you know, if we're going to do anything in the playoffs, we got to be able to compete and beat these teams like Colorado.
Now, the other thing that they're trying to do, one of the big reasons, according to Joel Quenneville, that they haven't scored is because of Patrick Waugh. Not just him making the saves, which he's been obviously very good at, but the other thing is handling the puck and making plays.
Well, since his dreadful start, he was 1-6-1 at the start of the season. He has been tremendous. Sakic wrapped up by the long arms of Chris Pronger. Now Fleury gets it to Sakic. Shot deflected over the top. Sakic with 23 points in his last 13 games, which includes 7 multiple-point games. Milan Hejduk around the net. Good job by Dimitra to stay with him. Fleury checked by Pronger. And the puck is cleared up into the crowd, and play stops with 2:54 remaining in this first period.
And now Ozolinsh complaining to the referee Rob Schick that he was taken down in front of the net, which he was. Remember, moving around, look for the opening. Ozolinsh, a defenseman, had moved in. He was directly in front of the net. And the offside wing on that side was Bartechko. And he had his head on a swivel. He was looking for him, found him, tried to stay with him, took him down, and no penalty was called.
Sandis Ozolinsh. The big shot moves the puck so well for Colorado. Another man very important to the chances. Dale Hunter and Mike Eastwood for the face-off. Played for the boards. Greg DeVries. Reichel try to move it. Jamal Mayers for St. Louis. It's stopped by Lefebvre. Long shot glove by Furin. He's got it. 2:43 to go in the first. The game remains scoreless. Back in St. Louis at the Kiel Center. A penalty is called on the play on the Colorado Avalanche. Looks like an obstruction hooking call. Power play St. Louis.
That was Al McInnes, who was lined up on the boards. And as St. Louis won the faceoff, there they are. Watch what happens with McInnes and the stick. He's going back to get it. There's the stick on the legs of McInnes. He goes down. The referee, Rob Schick, notices it from the other side and makes the call. So St. Louis with their second power play of this first period.
And Warren Reichel complaining to referee Rob Schick about it.
He doesn't like the call, but that's one of those calls when you're in the offensive zone. It's better just to stay away from. There's no need for it, even to slow him down. It doesn't matter. Why give the referee an opportunity to make one of those calls when you're in the offensive zone? It's best just to let it go, regroup, and go from there.
Blues have McInnes and Pronger at the points with Turgeon, Dimitra, and Young up front. Stefan Yell, number 26. Sean Podine, number 25. The forwards for Colorado on the penalty kill with Adam Foote and Alexei Gusarov on defense. Waugh leaves it to Foote, drives it around the boards, stopped by Pronger to keep it in. Dimitra checked by Gusarov. Waugh plays the puck around the boards. Karam's in front, missed by Turgeon. Another penalty call, and this one's on Colorado. A two-man advantage to St. Louis on a slashing call. And it looks like Adam Foote's the man going off, and you can see the reaction of Bob Hartley.
Well, Chris Pronger made a good play on the boards, keeping the puck in. Now watch Patrick Waugh. He's going to play it. Now watch the puck. It's going to come off the glass this way. Takes a funny bounce off the glass, and now St. Louis has a chance. And that was Turgeon that tried to get the shot, and Adam Foote came over with the stick, put it right on the hands, and Foote goes off. Here it is, 52, right there, slash, right on the right hand. And it's all because the puck came off the glass funny, hit one of the partitions, and instead of staying on the glass and going out of the zone, came straight back to the slot. And Adam Foote had to react quickly. The Blues end up with a scoring chance. And now a real opportunity for St. Louis. They'll have the 5-on-3 manpower advantage for the next 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Bob Hartley with his assistant coaches, Brian Trottier and Jacques Cloutier, keeping his team together and focused. Now Patrick Waugh questioning Rob Schick and the call. 5-on-3 advantage for the St. Louis Blues. Pavel Dimitra, Pierre Turgeon, Scott Young, Chris Pronger, and Al McInnes. Al McInnes with his 7th 20-goal season of his career, his first in 5 seasons with St. Louis. He's got the big shot.
Yeah, he does, but he's a very unselfish player. If he doesn't have time to take the shot or doesn't think it's right, he'll move it to a teammate.
He's got the puck now. 2 forwards on for Colorado. Yell and Podine. 1 defenseman, Gusarov. Down low, Young. Missed by Dimitra. Shot by McInnes. Save made. And the rebound put in, no goal. The whistle had blown. Rob Schick felt that Patrick Waugh had control of the puck and blew the whistle. Then dropped loose and was put in.
And Sean Podine almost lost his life here. Now McInnes shot it over him. Podine, watch, here comes the puck. You'll see a body come sliding down. Look at Podine right here. He dives and looks the other way, and McInnes had his head up and looked at that and took the shot high. Oh, the puck was loose. Patrick Roy made the first save, but couldn't control it. Here it is, it has to go high. Now the puck goes down. There's everybody trying to jam the puck free. Oh, boy. I'm not sure he had control of the puck. A quick whistle.
Referee Rob Schick, once he lost sight of it, gave Patrick Roy the benefit of the doubt. Pronger. Now McInnes. Pronger works it to Scott Young. Joe Sakic has come on for Colorado. Pronger with the puck. McInnes controls it. Back to Pronger. Kind of a passive triangle for Colorado. Pronger moving, fakes the shot by Young. He's got it back. Fans getting a little restless. They want shots. Here's McInnes teeing it up. Down low, Turgeon. Turgeon looking, shooting off the glove of Waugh. Around the boards. Chance for Colorado to clear. Sakic does.
Well, the other thing that happened, Pronger made a couple of passes, and it's the end of the period. This ice isn't very good right now. It looked like the puck jumped over the stick of the Blues player down low, which was Dimitra.
Forsberg made a great play at the line, deflecting the pass. Here's Turgeon moving in. Big drive, hit the post. Dimitra moves in deep, slides it into the crease. Waugh got a piece of it. They're digging at it. The whistle stops play. Patrick Waugh's on top of the puck. 13 seconds to go in the two-man advantage.
Well, Pierre,
Colorado holding him off, Joe.
Yeah, well, Pierre Turgeon, remember, he was a teammate of Patrick Roy in Montreal. He knows him. Here he is. He's going to take the shot, and he just goes off the post. Now Dimitra will end up, and watch his patience right here. Watch how he comes in, takes his time. Now the pass. Patrick Roy makes a save on Turgeon. Dimitra goes back to the front of the net and keeps digging away at it. And Patrick Roy somehow is able to cover up. Doesn't know where the puck is, but is able to cover up.
Closed everything in, sat down. 53.2 seconds remaining in the period. There's Pierre Turgeon. 13 seconds left in the two-man advantage for St. Louis. And the Blues have had 3 shots on the two-man advantage. 3 shots on goal.
And only 13 seconds remaining. Al McInnes now has moved to the other side, so Terry Yake is going to try and get the face-off straight back to him right there. So he's on the other side. He might just walk in and take the shot if he can win it cleanly.
Yake, Pellerin, and Picard on, but a face-off win by Sakic. The puck cleared, and Warren Reichel set to return. McInnes brings it in. Pass across. Pronger chases, keeps it in. It's a 5-on-4. Reichel is back on. Picard moves in. Good block by Lefebvre. Shot toward the net by Picard. Went wide. Back behind the net. Pellerin out in front. Picard misses the net again. McInnes with a back pass. Pronger tees it up. Long shot. Saved by Waugh. The rebound to Terry Yake. 12 seconds in the power play. Shot by Pronger. Missed the net. And then it was missed again as the rebound bounced high. Yake tried to bat it out of midair. Sakic with a puck dumps it in, and that will do it. Great penalty kill
10 seconds,
for the Colorado Avalanche, led by the outstanding play of Patrick Roy.
They kept the puck to the outside, Sam, and then when they didn't, Patrick Roy was there, made a couple of very key saves.
And the period is over. Some good action. The Avs thought they had a goal, but it was wiped out on the man in the crease rule, and then was goaltending keeps the Blues off the board. New Dodge Intermission Report with Susie Colbert coming up. Scores and highlights plus the plays of the week. It's all coming up next. St. Louis Avalanche and Blues are scoreless. Between periods, you know, coaches like to go into the video room and check things out. And let's check out the Blues video room.
Yeah, this is Jamie Compound, who does all the video work for the Blues. This is Joe Quenneville coming in. He wanted to take a look at something in particular after that first period. They keep track of power plays and penalty killings and goals.
Well, this was the disallowed goal. This one went in favor of the Blues. The Avalanche thought they had scored. That play was reviewed.
Oh, if it didn't go down the crease, it was a goal.
Yeah.
Just had one in the Dallas.
Was that close?
If it doesn't get out of the crease, it's a goal. Yeah.
The puck went out of the crease. The guy had his toe in the crease. No goal, waved off. So a break for the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, and the other thing they do down there is they keep track of all the penalty killing, the power play, and there's communication that goes on between the periods with the coaches upstairs, one on the bench, and they have everything all set for the head coach when he walks in.
High-tech hockey. Jimmy Roberts, the assistant coach.
Now Jimmy's on one headset. Pardon me, Sam.
Yeah.
And Mike Kitchen, who is the other assistant coach for the Blues, is upstairs also on headset.
Mike Eastwood plays it in front. And it went through. Eastwood, Rayom, and Ashenham open for St. Louis. Colorado answering with Milan Hajduk, Chris Drury, and Peter Forsberg. Let's take a look at our stats brought to you by Bud Light. First period played close. The big difference in the shots on goal came on the 5-on-3 when the Blues had 3 shots on goal late on that 5-on-3. Scoring chances edge to St. Louis, and the Blues 0 for 3 on the power play, 0 for 17 on the power play against Colorado this season.
Well, it certainly tells you something about Colorado's penalty killing, because St. Louis, one of the top power plays in the league all season long, and they were very good. That 5-on-3 for a minute 30, and Colorado took away the option.
Puck played in. Little change here with Hajduk playing on the right side of Forsberg. Forsberg heading up ice. Peter Forsberg has scored points in 21 of the last 22 games. Just having another superb season. He's closing in on his second 100-point season of his career.
Well, that's what makes it difficult for opposing coaches. You think, who should we put our checking line out against? Should we put him out against Forsberg, or should we put him out against Sakic? And it's a tough decision.
Rayom moves it to Pronger. 3-on-2 across the line. Now Forsberg gets back to even it up. Good shot. Save on the rebound as well by Patrick Waugh. Pronger's shot goes wide. Waugh made 2 saves on that Blues rush.
And that was the first time we've seen Pronger up on the play, or McInnes for that matter.
Dimitra working against Forsberg. Car stopped by Ozelinch. Forsberg goes down. On top of him goes Dimitra. Good hit by Aaron Miller along the boards, and out come the Avalanche. Theo Fleury. Theo Fleury, an unrestricted free agent as of July 1st. He'll be 31 years old late in June. And then the talk will come on the big money contract for Theo Fleury. Shot by Picard, saved by Waugh, and he holds on.
And he turned down a little over $6 million a year at the deadline to go to Los Angeles.
Well, that'll be a key point in the offseason. Who will Theo Fleury sign with? Everyone feels he'll want to stay out west.
Well, he has said that as well, because of his son wants to try and stay close, but money has a funny way of determining decisions.
But he seems to be very happy in Denver. He calls Denver a bigger Calgary.
Yes. The mountains right there. The weather now at this point. They got some snow the other day, but 2 days later it had melted. Likes the golf courses out there. And you look at this lineup. He's very good friends with Joe Sakic. Yeah. They've played together in many different international competitions, so they're familiar with one another. And this team has a chance to be good for a long time.
Shot by McInnes, went wide, bounces lively in front, and it was cleared into the corner. Good face-off win by Turgeon, set it all up. But McInnes with a big drive missed the net. Turgeon moving with a puck, trying to fight off the check. In front, the backhander, score! Scott Young! Beautiful play, and the Blues grab a 1-0 lead.
Well, it all started with St. Louis winning the faceoff and McInnes getting a chance and missed the net. And at that point, Colorado was trying to get back into a defensive position, and Pierre Turgeon ends up making a strong move. Here's Turgeon. Watch him come all the way around. Look at the strong move. And then over here, wide open, is Scott Young. Young now has time after the wonderful pass from Turgeon, makes one move to the backhand and puts it in. Gusarov cannot control Turgeon on the play. Young, who was knocked down just prior to that, gets up, finds himself all alone, and Turgeon makes the play. Look at Gusarov, tries to stay with him. Turgeon uses that opportunity to beat him. Young all alone, and he finishes things off 1-0 St. Louis.
Scott Young, who played for the Colorado Avalanche on their Stanley Cup championship team in 1996, gets his 20th goal of the season, his 5th 20-goal season of his career. And the Blues get the lead. Young from Turgeon and Pellerin at 2:09.
And Sam, that was Colorado's best defensive pair on the ice.
That's right. Penalty upcoming on the Blues. Delayed penalty call. Played deep by DeVries. Wraparound try by Yell was stopped. And now the whistle is blown. An obstruction holding call. Holding away from the puck. Second power play for Colorado.
Now Colorado, when they get the forecheck going with all their speed, they get in, and Brad Shaw ends up with the penalty. But there you see the defenseman DeVries move up on the play also. Blues had their 4th line on the ice, and they end up taking the penalty.
Sakic, Forsberg, Lemieux up front for Colorado. Fleury and Ozolinsh the point men. Eastwood, Pellerin, Pronger, and McInnes the penalty killers for St. Louis. Intercepted by Pronger, plays it off the boards. Eastwood tied up with Fleury. And we had a whistle for an offside. So the Blues finally score on Patrick Roy. They had gone 215 minutes 15 seconds this season before getting one by Patrick Roy.
Oh, that's some kind of string, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
I mean, that is some kind of string. Patrick Roy came to training camp ready to go. I mean, he had something to prove. And Bob Hartley, the rookie coach for Colorado, lives close to Patrick Roy, so they saw each other early in the summer.
Yes.
And Patrick Roy said, I've been working out, and I'm ready to go. I've got something to prove this season. Winning winning all these games and setting records is important to him as well, but he's ready to go. He wants to win another cup.
He wants another cup. He also has his sights on becoming the all-time leader in wins by a goaltender in regular season. He now is the all-time leader in regular season and playoff games combined. Puck around the boards with 509. 410 regular season, 99 in the playoffs. Ozolinsh winds up, big drive, missed the net. Off the end boards, Fleury's got it. Fleury is tied up with Al McInnes and with referee Rob Schick. Pronger tried to blast it around the boards. It was blocked by Forsberg. Eastwood playing it to Pellerin. Pellerin moves down on Ozolinsh. Pellerin with a wrist shot that's gloved by Roy.
And here you have McInnes and Pronger on the ice. They've been out there now for over 1 minute killing this penalty, and they stay out.
Forsberg stopped at the line. And an offside. Good play at the line by the St. Louis Blues. The other night against Detroit, Pronger and McInnes were on for a full 2 minutes on the penalty kill.
Well,
almost unheard of.
Well, they're smart players. Here it is again. See McInnes come out? McInnes comes out and forces the play, and he forces the man to go this way laterally along the blue line, and the forwards breaking down the sides don't have time to stop. So McInnes forces at the blue line. Forsberg has to go laterally, and it's an offside by Colorado. And meanwhile, here's Sandis Ozolinsh. Took the pass from Joe Sakic, walked in, and took the shot, and that didn't miss by much. He was going high on Grant Fuhrer and didn't miss by much.
Didn't miss by much of hitting Claude Lemieux either. He had a jump out of the way. Avalanche still looking for their first shot on goal here in the second period. A little over 4 minutes gone by. Blues are out shooting the Avs 17-6.
I thought the first period, Sam, was very evenly played, and the Blues had their best scoring chances on the power play.
Yeah. Hayduk. Gusarov plays it to Adam Foote. Foote pressured by Blair Atchinham. Milan Hayduk out of the Czech Republic. Leaves it for Hunter. Out to Gusarov. Winds up, plays it down low off the stick of Chris Drury. Drury went down trying to draw a penalty on McInnes. Nothing called. Work to Hayduk. He shoots it wide. Atchinham comes over. Power play is finished. As Brad Shaw is back on the ice. No shots on goal for Colorado. Great penalty kill for the Blues. Atchinham plays it deep. Picard. And coming back is Dale Hunter. He's pressured, double teamed by Bartechko and Dimitra. Foot with a big hit, knocked down Michel Picard. Hunter is bumped by Bartechko. Now Dimitra along the boards. Dimitra against Hunter, forced him back. Leaves it for Jeff Finley. Pass was blocked, comes out of the zone, and Finley recovers.
And even though the Blues had control of the puck there for a period of time, Colorado's defensive game, again, was very strong.
Offside, whistled on the play. 14-14 to go in the second. Some hard play along the board. Blues have a 1-0 lead. Guy, the most whack comedy on TV, followed by the X-Files tonight on Fox. Hey, a lot of families here today, Joe.
Yeah, another sellout crowd here at the Kiel Center. Over 20,000 people. Fan Appreciation Day, as you mentioned earlier, Sam. The Blues will go on the road for their final 3 games of the regular season.
Big game coming up in Anaheim, as Anaheim right behind St. Louis, and San Jose is closing in as well. The Blues 1 point ahead of the Mighty Ducks, 2 points ahead of San Jose. Turgeon tried to bank it in off Waugh. Pellerin went down. Blues keep it in. Good effort by St. Louis. Avs able to clear it out. Recovered by Turgeon, moving back in. And it's cleared out again by Milan Hajduk. This is Theo Fleury. Drops it ahead and is stopped by Pronger. Fleury has it back. Wrists it toward the net. Blocked by Pearson. Outlets to Turgeon. Turgeon against Adam Foote. Turgeon shoots wide.
Sam Gusarov came back, the defensive partner of Adam Foote, who was beaten on the play a little bit. And Gusarov came all the way around, and just as Turgeon was getting ready to take the shot, gave him a little bit of stick on the right arm, and that forced the shot wide. Good defensive play.
Blues able to secure the zone. Recovered by Claude Lemieux. He lost it to Achinum. Able to get it back to Forsberg. Drury to Lemieux. Drops it off for Drury. Pass in the middle is intercepted by Eastwood. Good job by Mike Eastwood coming back for St. Louis. Claude Lemieux in the corner. Drury pokes it ahead to Forsberg. Forsberg working against Jeff Finley. Finley staying with him. Forsberg gets it back to Lefebvre for the wrist shot, deflects wide of the net. Coming down is Greg DeVries. Jeff Finley able to move it around the boards. Lefebvre had Achinum tied up, but it's whipped clear and then taken back by Pronger. Pronger winds up. His shot blocked by Drury.
And Sam, both teams have done a good job at sticking with their game plan. For Colorado, they didn't want McInnes and Pronger getting involved in the rush, and that really hasn't happened in this game. And for St. Louis, they've been able to keep the puck away from Patrick Waugh and not let him play it. So their forechecking has been pretty effective when they've gotten the puck in deep.
12:10 to go in the second period, with St. Louis leading 1-0. Al McInnes on the forecheck. Warren Reichel for Colorado. Picard cross ice to the open man Dimitra. Dimitra cuts in on Hunter, who's offside. Offside whistled on the play. Just under 12 minutes to go in the second. Playoffs started today. Dallas would be playing Edmonton, Colorado and San Jose, Detroit and Anaheim, Phoenix and St. Louis. That would be the first round matchup if the season ended today. It ends a week from today.
If you're the number 2 seed, that San Jose team, it scares me. Would scare me going in. They're playing so well as a team together. They get Don Foose from Montreal, and he's been a big help offensively, Sam, and their goaltending.
Steve Shields unbeaten in his last 11, 9-0-2. And it looks like he's going to be the man. Mike Vernon said it the other day. You go with the hot guy. Shields is the hot guy. Even though Vernon is the experienced man with a Stanley Cup to his credit.
It shows you what kind of teammate Mike Vernon is.
Yeah.
You know he'll be ready to go. I'd go with Vernon.
Shot by Donovan, saved by Fuhr. First shot on goal for Colorado. It comes almost 8.5 minutes into the second period. Terry Yake for St. Louis lifts it in. Juggled by Waugh, dropped it. We'll give an error on the play. But a nice recovery by the Avs.
He normally recovers well.
Offside, Colorado, 11-15. Oh, we have some baseball. We're talking baseball. So Susie Kalber in the studio in L.A. Susie.
Well, Sam, we were talking no-hitter at intermission. Orlando Hernandez working it against Detroit. No more. Tony Clark with a single to right breaks it up in the top of the 7th, but the Yanks are still beating Detroit senseless 11-2 now in the 9th. Back to you.
Thanks, Susie. El Duque looking for his second win here in St. Louis. Everybody following Mark McGuire. Yankees haven't lost since opening day, Joe, so they're starting to roll.
I think the rocket will help them.
He did yesterday.
Oh, boy. There you go, 7 2/3.
7 2/3 shutout. Oh, man. Good hit by Adam Foote, knocked down Pierre Turgeon. Now Foote checks Scott Young to the ice. Turgeon gets it to Pellerin. Out to Pearson. And around the boards, Young chases it down. Young scored the goal to give the Blues the lead. Turgeon working against Foote. Now Young shoots, saved by Waugh. Good setup. That line worked really well together.
Yeah, very good. Scott Young has really been active in this game.
Milan Hajduk, nice drop. Fleury shot, deflect, score! I think that went off the Blues defenseman, but Theo Fleury ties it up for Colorado.
Well, Colorado did a good job coming out of their own zone. After the initial shot by Young, the rebound came out high, and here comes Colorado. Here they are, all these players. Now, Chris Pronger, keep an eye on him. He's going to come over this way. And I believe when the shot is taken right now, Pronger goes over, and I believe it went off Pronger's stick. And you could just see him kind of look the other way. The drop pass comes back to Fleury. Fleury passes it back to him. Here comes Pronger, 44. Watch his stick. Yeah, that goes off the stick because Grant Fuhr was leaning to his right and tried to react to his left. And the puck was already past him. Off the stick of Pronger. The redirection just inside the post. Theo Fleury does it again, and this game is tied.
His 39th of the season, his 9th with the Colorado Avalanche at 9:26. And with that assist, Milan Hajduk now becomes the leading point scorer among rookies in the league. Blues come in, shot by Eastwood, missed the net, wide. Kept in by McInnes. Hajduk now also leads all rookies in assists with 31 and in points with 45. Forsberg getting away from Atchingham.
And their coach, Bob Hartley, thinks, without question, Hajduk is the best rookie in the league. That's saying a lot when you got Chris Drury that plays on the team also, who's had an outstanding rookie year.
Fleury from Hajduk at 9:26 to tie the game. Avalanche, if you joined us late, had a goal disallowed in the first period when they had a man in the crease. Bartechko tried to make his way to the net, but was stopped. And Colorado heads the other way. Ozelin across. Drops it for Podine. Backhander tipped wide by Yell. Good play. Podine puts it in front, taken by Pronger. Pavel Demitra. Lefebvre just came off the bench on a change. Demitra waits. Pass across for Bartechko. Takes it off the boards and winds it deep. Picard hit by DeVries. Rick DeVries has come along well for Colorado.
He really played well, Sam, in particular early in the season when Colorado had all those injuries. DeVries stepped up and played well. And Miller, I think, really decided and found out at that point that he could be a regular defenseman in the league because he had so much ice time.
Lemieux without a stick, couldn't clear it. Pearson shot deflected in his glove by Patrick Waugh. He stops play. With 8:59 to go in the second, the Avalanche have tied the Blues.
His forwards to pound McInnes and Pronger every time. And that's Peter Forsberg, who hits just about as hard as any forward in the league.
He is strong.
And he went right after McInnes. It was a perfect hit. McInnes took it. And that's to keep them out of the play. They don't want them moving up on the play.
McInnes with the shot deflected goes way up into the crowd and play stops. We talked about the outstanding rookies on the Colorado Avalanche. Milan Hajduk out of the Czech Republic, and this man, Chris Drury, out of Trumbull, Connecticut. Great hands. Work ethic is the key to his game, and Milan Hajduk, the man with great skills. With good hands, he's now the leading point scorer, 1 point ahead of Drury. Hajduk with a point today has moved up to 45 points. Brendan Morrison with a good second half rush for New Jersey is in the running. Jan Hrdina of Pittsburgh has had a good year. Bill McCall of Vancouver has had a good year.
Tough choice. All good players. Colorado really changed their team around.
Yes, they have.
Adding those rookies, they've got more speed, more grit.
And they've signed another good one. They're the 12th pick overall, their first rounder, Alex Tanguay, 19 years old. And they've sent him to their farm team in Hershey.
Yeah, he had a good camp for them. They had a very good camp. Center iceman. That's all they need is another
one.
Iceman.
Zakic checked by Finley. McInnes A nice outlet to Pellerin. Pellerin moves in on foot. Long shot, didn't get good wood on it. Pellerin again hits the side of the net. Foot hit him. Hunter behind the net for Colorado.
Adam Foote.
Theo Fleury.
Adam Foote hits hard, doesn't he,
Yes,
Sam?
he does.
Every opportunity he gets to take the man, he does.
Colorado in the middle of a change. Almost had too many men on the ice. Hunter scores! Dale Hunter drives one. The St. Louis bench is upset because Colorado looked like they had too many men on the ice, but Hunter with a rip of a shot beats Grant Fuhr.
They did. They did have too many men on the ice, and Fleury was trying to do everything he can to get off the ice. As the play is coming back down the ice, you'll see Colorado try and change. Here they come. Look at these players here trying to get off the ice. There's one. So you've got this one, here, and there's one more over on this other side here. And here he comes. He's into the frame now. Look at there's 7 on the ice now when they take the shot. And what a shot by Hunter to beat Grant Fuhr. But there was confusion along the boards, and without question, that shot goes off the post and in. Without question, Colorado with at least 6 players on the ice.
But not detected by the officials, and Dale Hunter has his 2nd of the season, both for the Colorado Avalanche. 12:15 is the time of the goal, and Hunter now has scored points in 4 straight games for the Avs.
And he's given them a big lift. He's a tremendous team player, team man, and yet he's providing them some offense.
Jeff Odgers' pass was across 2 lines, whistled down, 7:28 to go, and the Avs with 2 goals here in the 2nd period. After a slow start to the period, the goal is unassisted by Dale Hunter. Dale Hunter, who started with the Quebec franchise, was traded away to Washington, has had a strong career, and then was becoming an unrestricted free agent. He's older player now, and Washington gave him the option. They said, we can keep you. You won't play much. We're going to be out of the playoffs. We have a chance to trade you to Colorado. And he said, I'll go there.
Yeah, and he's having so much fun playing for this team. And he's a guy at his age. He goes to the optional skates. He's out there at the same time as the rookies. He doesn't come off the ice until the rookies come off the ice. And he's just having a heck of a time.
He loves it. And another reason why the Avs are certainly strong contenders for the Stanley Cup, but it'll be tough in the West. There are some outstanding teams. The top 3, Dallas, Colorado, and Detroit, have really geared up. And then right behind, Phoenix, St. Louis, San Jose coming on strong.
And now Joe Quenneville comes back with his 4th line just to try and get a little bit of enthusiasm. Tony Twist, a 4th line player. He's big, he's strong. There he is trying to put him in a position and not leaving it. Does a good job there. Gets in front of Stefan Yell. Tony Twist will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. One of the league's toughest players.
Well, he told us he's 31, but he looks like he's 26. Just under 7 minutes to go in the 2nd period as Jeff Finley lifts it out. Blues scored first. The Avalanche have answered back with 2 goals here in the 2nd period. Theo Fleury and Dale Hunter, the recent acquisitions, coming through. Atchinon's pass tipped across. Eastwood slides it to Rayon. The shot stopped by Waugh. Ozelinch has the puck.
And with the exception of the goal by Scott Young in front. Now St. Louis is not getting a lot of good quality scoring chances from in front of the net.
There's a penalty coming up. An obstruction hooking call looks to be on Theo Fleury. And he's going off. Power play to St. Louis.
Well, the Blues get an opportunity to get back in this game as Fleury takes the penalty. That play was a penalty just at the blue line as Colorado was coming down and into the St. Louis end. Fleury gets in the way. And on the right side of your... Fleury comes back the other way. Here's the puck coming into the zone, and over on the other side is where Fleury takes the man down. That's way, the puck is way over here, and Fleury makes the play over here. That's not a good penalty. Fleury goes off, and it gives the St. Louis power play another chance.
Well, the Blues have finally broken through with a goal against Patrick Waugh this season. Now they're trying to break through on the power play against Colorado. They're 0 for 17 on the power play against the Avalanche. Nice play by Waugh to clear it himself.
And they tried something a little different there off the faceoff. Al McInnes, right defenseman, he took off before they dropped the puck. They tried to shoot the puck forward and break McInnes, give McInnes a chance in a breakaway.
McInnes and Pronger with Turgeon, Demitra, and Young for the power play. Kucherov and Foote, Yell and Podine the penalty killers for Colorado. Demitra in the corner. Turgeon behind the net. Now Demitra, the leading scorer for the Blues. 36 goals on the season. His pass blocked by Sean Podine. Demitra takes down Podine. The puck is cleared out of the zone. It's a penalty call. And I think it's going to be a holding the stick call on Pavel Demitra.
Oh, what a play from Sean Podine. See, he puts his body in a position where Demitra has to go through him to make the play. Demitra was trying to get the puck to Al McInnes. And Demitra gets... Well, they both go down on the play.
Well, Demitra got the call. He reached around with his left hand and grabbed the stick of Sean Podine.
Well, that's a very good job by Podine on the play, being in perfect position, blocking the pass as Demitra, they tried everything to get the puck to McInnes.
Obstruction holding the stick at 14-15 on Pavel Demitra, and that ends the power play. Now the team skate 4 aside for the next minute and 18, and Colorado eventually winds up with a 42-second man advantage.
Sam, that's the second time in this game where the Blues have had a power play and they haven't been able to finish it. They've negated it with a penalty.
This is Terry Yake for St. Louis across with Blair Atchinham. Strong play in front by Ozolinsh, who got clunked on the head by Yake on the follow-through. Miller checks Yake, and Ozolinsh takes the puck for the Avalanche. Sakic and Claude Lemieux, the forwards. Sakic sends it in. Fuhr stops it. Jeff Finley works it around the boards. Eric Miller steps up, missed it. Lemieux took a hit, trying to keep the puck in the zone. It's whistled for an offside. 5:01 remaining in the second period. Colorado leading St. Louis 2-1. Well, it's time for our Oracle trivia question. We talked about those fine rookies for Colorado, 1-2, Hayduk and Drury. When was the last time rookies from the same team finished atop the rookie scoring list? 1-2. Think about that one, Joe.
I will. That takes a little thought.
I'm going to give you a hint.
I'm
New York
listening.
Rangers. Think New York Rangers.
I will think New York Rangers, and I will think Tony Amonte, possibly.
Tony's the right name for one of them. Here comes Pierre Turgeon on the puck with Scott Young.
Was Doug Waite there that year?
No. Back behind the net. Tony's the right first name. It's not Tony Amonte.
Oh.
I want to get you to a different
Okay.
Tony.
I see.
Hayduk across for Colorado, working against Pronger. Hit the side of the net. Avalanche on the power play right now as Fleury's out of the box. Fuhr makes a save and holds on. 4:26 remaining. All right, Joe. Brian Leetch is one. And the other one, Tony Granato. There you go. Good job. 1988-89. Leetch and Granato finished 1-2 among rookies in scoring in the NHL. Our Oracle trivia quiz and answer.
And the question is, will Brian Leetch be a member of the New York Rangers next season?
He better be.
Yeah, I would say so.
Or they got big trouble.
I would say so.
Number one team in the NHL, Dallas Stars, have clinched number one, won their second consecutive President's Trophy, leading LA 5-2 in the second in Dallas, and Pittsburgh leading Detroit 1-0. So that's a game of interest to the Avalanche. Avalanche leading, Detroit trailing, and Colorado trying to hold on to that number 2 seed for home ice advantage. Should they meet in the second round? Chris Chelios missed the last game Friday night with a groin injury. Bill Ranford has been strong. He played that 1-1 tie here Friday night. And Wendell Clark, good addition up front for Detroit. Puck cleared all the way down. Yes.
Sam, we talked about Colorado having the depth, and when they get their healthy players back, Now, it's a coach's dream to be able to choose from a pool of all those players to put them in the lineup, and Detroit's in the same position with all that depth, adding those players at the deadline.
Loose puck in front. Blues do a good job clearing it. Eastwood races forward and gets there. Eastwood against Forsberg. Cuts it and shoots. Saved by Waugh. Nice move by Eastwood.
Eastwood has been a pleasant surprise for St. Louis this season.
Zakic dumps it down the boards. Claude Lemieux goes forward. Power play is over. Colorado 0 for 3 on the power play. No shots on goal on their power play. Bellerin with the lead. The shot saved by Waugh. Got a piece on the shot by Dimitra.
What a pass, too, from Pronger. Pronger started the play. When he got the puck in his own end, he knew how much time was left in the penalty. He looked up. He saw the player come out of the box, Dimitra, and a couple of quick passes. Bellerin, Dimitra, and then the good scoring chance.
Finley moves it out of the zone. Dimitra was bumped by DeVries. At the line, Finley. 2-1, Colorado leading it. 3:10 to go in the second period. Avalanche take control. Greg DeVries. Finley's pass for Jamal Mayers. Mayers had a strong game Friday night with several big hits.
Well, he's given this team a lot of energy since being recalled. He's big, 208 pounds. He's got very good speed, and he plays a physical game. And that's what St. Louis needed, just to get them going.
Offside whistled on St. Louis with 2:44 to go in the second.
Play. Only one defenseman on the ice. That's Ozolinsh. He's here. The circle player is Peter Forsberg. Here comes Mike Eastwood. Look at the move here. Stops. Goes back to his forehand. The quick shot. So he beats Forsberg on the play one-on-one. And a very good save by Patrick Waugh.
This will be an icing on St. Louis and play stop. We talked about the Avs waiting for some players to come back. The Blues are still waiting for Jeff Courtnall, who's very close to coming back. He's been skating hard, trying to improve his conditioning. Craig Conroy is out again with an ankle injury. He had returned for one game and then tweaked his ankle in practice. And Michael Handzus is out with a shoulder injury, and he's close to coming back.
Well, when you get those three players back, I mean, what it does is you got Handzus, who's a very smart player and good on faceoff. Courtnall, who scored 31 goals a year ago, has been out for almost the entire season. Plus, he gives you speed, he gives you grit, gives you determination. Jim Campbell, who scored 23 goals a year ago, is out for the season because of surgery on the groin, and he had not been having a very good year.
Pronger takes over, fires across for Dimitra. Bradshaw was double teamed. Pronger has it back. Now Dimitra, who is the youngest of the top 10 scorers in the league. Gets a chance, he scored. His shot was saved. Rebound, score! Michel Picard with the rebound. Ties it at 2.
What a play. Here's Pronger. He's looking for Dimitra, and Dimitra does the rest. Here he's got time. One move there. Look at that. Throws the puck through. Now he's got it. Two players come over here, and they can't stop him. Goes right through. Great save by Patrick Waugh, and then the rebound to Picard. What a play by Dimitra. Right through two of the Avalanche players. Takes the shot. Waugh with an excellent save, and then following up on the play was Picard. Wow, what a play by Dimitra to tie this game.
That's something that has really come about in his game. He's much stronger, Joe. He fought through those checks to make the play.
He's worked so hard, I mentioned it earlier, on his leg strength. Even during the course of the season, after practices, he goes in, he continues to work on the leg strength. And you saw everything right there. Speed, puck handling, strength, the shot. And it all led to the goal.
Dimitra gets the assist along with Chris Pronger. Picard's 10th of the season from Dimitra and Pronger at 17:52. Dimitra now with 20 points in his last 15 games. Making a strong play. Forsberg comes in. 2-2 the score. Each team has had a chance with a lead. Forsberg turns, slides it across, and just missed by Ozolinsh. Great play by Forsberg, and Ozolinsh missed the net.
And Finley doesn't have a stick, so he can't defend much against Forsberg, and he took advantage of that.
Wrestling along the boards, Forsberg and Finley. Now Al McInnes for St. Louis with 1:05 to go in the second period. Nice move Away from Claude Lemieux. McInnes moves in on Ozolinsh. Played it on goal. Waugh drops it and clears it out to Theo Fleury. Pronger stops it at the line.
And the matchup in this game, every shift, Joel Quenneville has had either Chris Pronger or Al McInnes on the ice against Sakic and Forsberg. Here's the goal again. What a move by Dimitra. What a tremendous play starting from his own end, which looked like just a simple little pass from Pronger. And then the moves. He made one and then the second one. He put the puck through the first player in the neutral zone, and then he does it a second time and fights it through, and then Picard comes following up on the play to put it into the empty net.
Dimitra starting the game 9th in the league in scoring. Now has tied John LeClair with 86 points.
He signed a contract extension earlier in the season, a new 3-year contract starting at about $1.2 million a year, increasing by a couple of $100,000 per season. And he just loves the game, just loves to play the game.
Really has stepped up. Young and Picard have scored for St. Louis. Fleury and Hunter have scored for Colorado. And we are tied at 2 with 35 seconds to go in the second period.
Sam, this has been a well-played game by both teams.
Turgeon toward the net, tipped wide. And the Blues showing no letdown after the very emotionally charged game with St. Louis Friday night here. A 1-1 tie. Off the boards, coming all the way down.
Well, we'll say it again, Sam. Nobody wants to play Detroit in the first round.
No.
And that's not a slight towards Phoenix by any means. But Detroit, the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion, that made their team that much stronger at the trade deadline. And the way they are playing now, unbeaten in 9. I mean, you just don't want to face Detroit in the first round if you don't have to.
Colorado with 94 points right now. San Jose could move up. They're playing well with 79 points. Anaheim struggling. They've had only 1 win in their last 6. They had a tough road trip. They went on the road, went east, and won only 1 game against the Rangers. They went 1-3-1. And Detroit is trailing at home this afternoon to Pittsburgh 1-0 in the second period. Dallas with a 6-2 lead on LA. Jaromir Jagr is playing in that game. Theo Fleury banged his stick on the ice. He was upset. He was claiming that Al McInnes was cheating on it. Yeah, and he's still yelling.
Yeah, here they are over here. Here you see the lines right there. McInnes is supposed to stay on this side and Fleury on the other. And right before they dropped the puck the first time, you're right, Sam, he was banging his stick trying to get the attention of the linesman so that he would not drop the puck.
And now Forsberg is chased from the face-off circle, so Sakic comes in to take it.
Yeah, see, they want the draw coming this way so he can come this way and get the shot. It doesn't work.
Fleury tied up by McInnes. Eastwood comes away with the puck and moves it out to Atchinham. Good job on the face-off by Eastwood. Atchinham moves in. Atchinham with a shot deflected. Save made by Waugh. Sakic gets to it, and the horn sounds, ending the second period. So, got it all set for another strong third period. Theo Fleury goes right to the linesman, and he's upset. And Rob Schick says, get off the ice. New Dodge Intermission Report with Susie Colbert coming up, plus an interview with Al McInnes. Right after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. We are back to start the third period, and Theo Fleury is in the penalty box for unsportsmanlike conduct to start the third period. Right when the second period ended, he skated right at the linesman, upset over that face-off in the Colorado zone, and Rob Schick assessed him a 2-minute minor unsportsmanlike conduct. Said we will not stand for that, said the referee.
Well, he plays a fiery game, Sam. Pardon me. He plays a fiery game, but that's not a good time to take the penalty.
Fifth power play for the Blues. McInnes works it ahead for Dimitra. Dimitra, Young, and Turgeon up front. Pronger and McInnes at the points on the power play. Here's McInnes, winds up. The shot deflected wide of the net. Colorado with Kucherov and Foote on defense. Yell and Podine, the forwards, as the penalty killers. And St. Louis 0 for 4 in the game on the power play. And they have not scored a power play goal against Colorado this season. 0 for their last 18. Dimitra takes it deep. Young in the corner. Back to Turgeon. Turgeon with 599 career assists. Working it down the boards to Dimitra. The back passes to Pronger. Now McInnes. And a Let's Go Blues chant goes up from the packed house here at the Kiel Center. Work deep to Dimitra. Dimitra holding, fires it back to McInnes, winds up, feeds Young. He shoots, save, rebound, up in the air, bounces down, played by Dimitra. Good shot by Scott Young, and Waugh with a save. Shot by McInnes, just a little wide. Around the boards, Gusarov able to clear, stopped by McInnes in center. Blues have to get out of the zone. They didn't in time. They're offside with 31 seconds to go on the power play. Take a look at our second period statistics brought to you by Bud Ice. Shots on goal, the big edge to the St. Louis Blues. Should mention that the stats are brought to you by Bud Light, not by Bud Ice. Same parent company, but it's Bud Light.
Right here in St. Louis, I might add. Yeah, there you see the scoring chances here, too. 16-8 favoring St. Louis.
It's been like the story of the season series, Joe.
Yeah, it really has. I think when you look at this game through 2 periods, Sam, it's been a much more evenly played game, I think, than the shots indicate. The Blues have gotten shots on the power play, but haven't been able to score on the power play.
Puck all the way down. Fuhr stops it for McInnes. 15 seconds to go, and the penalty to Theo Fleury. Shaw brings it across. Pellerin working down the boards. Back pass comes to McInnes. Sets up Shaw. Fired it. It was blocked by Yell. Out of the box comes Fleury. Teams are at full strength. Sakic trying to control the bouncing puck. Here's Fleury. Checked by McInnes. Drops it off to Lemieux for the shot. Saved with a blocker by Fuhr. Bounces down in the corner. Now Fleury to Sakic and gets it back. Fleury with 39 goals on the season. Missed the net. Ozolinsh to Sakic. Off the skate of Grant Fuhr. And it's brought out by Michel Picard. Picard puts it in the Avalanche zone.
Sam, I think when you look at this Blues power play, and the reason I think that they haven't scored on their power play is that Colorado is working so hard not allowing St. Louis to set up for that one pass and then have time to really pick the shot that they want.
The NHL playoffs begin a week from Wednesday. Wednesday or Thursday will be first games. Dives out and stops the puck. We'll step out for a moment. 16:40 to go in the third. This where the Avalanche and Blues are tied at 2, early third period. Yes, I do. Patrick Waugh with 410 career wins. Across the way is Grant Fuhr with 396 career wins. There's never been a game in NHL history with 2 starting goaltenders to have as many wins. It's incredible when you're looking at 2 of the all-time greats starting in goal. Adam Foote for Colorado, chased by Lubos Bartechko. Now it's moved around by Gusarov.
And Sam, neither goaltender has been a disappointment in this game, but I think a lot of the credit also has to go to the players. They've done a nice job on both teams protecting these goaltenders and keep the quality scoring chances down.
Through a screen, Fuhr made a save. Big bodies in front on the shot by Sylvain Lefebvre. Now Sean Donovan centers. And a good job in front by Chris McAlpine of checking Sean Podine. McAlpine hasn't played all that much. Dimitra deflects to the corner. Picard gets DeVries. Yell goes to the puck. He's tied up with Bartechko. Gets the stick loose. He's being held by Stefan Yell. Bartechko cuts in front. Saved by Waugh. Along the boards, Theo Fleury. Bangs it off the boards. Knocked down by Pronger. Now it's Fleury. Fleury able to work it out of the zone. And now Pronger for St. Louis.
And Sam, that last scoring chance by the Blues, some miscommunication by the Avalanche in their own end, and that allowed Bartechko to just go to the front of the net, and Patrick Waugh was tested.
Forsberg hounded all the way by Scott Pellerin. Pellerin, I don't know that he gets all that much attention, but you'd have to consider him one of the best defensive forwards in the league. I don't know if he'll get votes for the Selke Trophy or not as the top defensive forward, but he's really outstanding.
Oh, he's had a wonderful year. Behind McInnes and Dimitra, Pellerin has been their most valuable player. 20 goals on the season, 5 shorthanded. And in the previous 3 seasons, he only had a total of 18 goals.
Wow.
So he's just been tremendous.
Big year for him. Milan Hajduk slowed down, plays it into the blue zone. A little over 5 minutes gone by in the third. In Detroit, Pittsburgh has a 2-0 lead on Detroit. So that's a score that very much interests the Colorado Avalanche. Here's Turgeon breaking in. Turgeon with a shot saved by Waugh. Bellerin tied up by Aaron Miller. Good shot by Pierre Turgeon, who scored 30 goals with 4 different NHL teams. Shot by Lemieux, a save by Fuhr. Hunter puts it out in front. It's missed by Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh, every chance he gets, he cuts for the net. Turgeon for St. Louis.
Your defensive forwards always have to be watching for him, and the Blues have done a pretty good job against Ozolinsh. He hasn't had the puck all that much in this game, so they've been watching for him coming late and have done a nice job against him.
2-2 the score. 6 minutes gone by, third period. Al McInnes. This is Pavel Demitra playing it wide of the net. And Karen moved into the corner and off the boards by Patrick Waugh. Sean Donovan brings it out. Stopped by Terry Yake. Here comes Demitra to the net. He fakes. He was checked from behind by Adam Foote and didn't get a clear shot off.
I think he was hooked on the play, Sam, and no penalty. Adam Foote came back to make the defensive play. What a play by Terry Yake in front of the Colorado bench to put Demitra in, and Demitra, I think, tried to deke instead of shoot the puck, and Foote came back on him.
That shot by Forsberg is a save by Fuhr, and Yake goes after the puck. Brad Shaw moves it ahead, and Demitra able to put it in.
That was one of those borderline situations, Sam, with Foote coming back. Was it a hook or was it just a good defensive play?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say good defensive play.
He's one of the best.
Yes. Atchingham tried to get it through to McInnes coming forward. Avalanche turn it the other way. Fleury fell down. And Fleury may be on top of the puck. It's worked loose by Eastwood. Plays it back to McInnes. 12.5 minutes to go in the third. Tied at 2. Atchingham puts it in the Avalanche zone. Waugh looks around. Lets DeVries play it. Fleury moves it ahead, and here comes Milan Hajduk.
And the fans now here in St. Louis trying to get their team spurred on. Again, this has been a very well-played game by both teams.
Blues with 30 shots, Avs with 15. Offside St. Louis with 12:06 to go in the third.
As a former defenseman, he made a great defensive play. He is one of the best, and he shows his speed. Good job by Terry Yake. Here comes Demitra. Looks like he's all alone, and there it is, right there, right on the left arm. And that little hook and little twist of the wrist prevented Demitra from getting the shot on Patrick Waugh. And Foote at the bench has a little cut there on the chin. He plays a hard, tough game, though. Adam Foote, that's why Joe Quenneville said he's one of the best in the league.
Turgeon and Sakic. And the puck kept in the Avalanche zone, then swept clear by Claude Lemieux. Chris Pronger chases back for it, fires it around the boards. Pellerin tips it out. Scott Young, good play, brings it in. Wrist shot, saved by Waugh. Tough shot by Young. Along the boards, Turgeon. Young goes for it. Kucherov on him. Kucherov was bumped by Pellerin, but able to get it to Sakic and out to Lemieux.
And Sam, have you noticed now both teams in the third period, they're shooting from all over. Instead of trying to get the puck to the net, where both teams have played well defensively, and it's been a difficult thing to do, they are taking the long shot from the angle.
Ricard Pearson rubbed out along the boards. Combination of Claude Lemieux and Sylvain Lefebvre. Here's Demitra turning, got the shot off, just missed. Lemieux chopping at Pellerin's stick and able to work it across. Lefebvre winds up, long shot, sticked into the corner by Grant Fuhr, but it was an offside on the play. 11:04 to go in this third period. Grant Fuhr, making his 13th consecutive start, has really come back strong from knee surgery. And Joe, you had a chat with him. He's really feeling good.
Yeah, he is. He feels good, and I think he's kind of got this feeling, and he's acting like he's got something to prove, because a lot of people wrote him off, and there was an article back a few months ago in the paper about how Grant was going to retire from the game after next season when his contract ends. And he said he just wasn't having a lot of fun. He was in constant pain, 24 hours a day. His knee would hurt him, and it was a difficult thing. He wasn't playing well. He finally said, I'm going to have the surgery and see if I can't get better. He did, and he feels good now. And as he says, and you know Grant, well, he said, more pucks are hitting me now.
All right, there you go. He is 5th all-time in games played. Terry Sawchuk, Glenn Hall, Tony Esposito, and Gump Worsley. The only goaltenders to play more NHL games than Grant Fuhr. This is 843 in his terrific career.
He's a champion, and even though he's age 36, now he just doesn't give up.
Before surgery, 7-7-5, 2.70. After the surgery, 7-3-3, 1.97, 916 save percentage. It makes a difference when you're feeling good.
That save percentage. You know, for a long time, we talked about the Blues and the number of shots that they give up on a game-by-game basis, the lowest in the league. Yet for most of the year, their save percentage as a team was the worst in the league, and that's why they were around 500.
Jeff Finley hounded by Sean Donovan. Aaron Miller able to keep it in for Colorado. McInnes tries the near boards. Good hustling play to keep it in the zone by Sean Podine. Miller comes down the boards against Dimitra. Turgeon able to clear the zone, and Ozelinch has it back. Colorado Avalanche will play a couple of games in Alberta. They'll play back-to-back games against Edmonton and Calgary. Fleury went down on the check by Terry Yake, and then wind up the season at home against Dallas next Sunday.
Looks like Fleury's ex-team is out of it.
Good shot by Dimitra, got through, and Waugh with a nice save.
That's another example, getting over the blue line and taking the shot.
Forsberg goes deep against Pronger. Forsberg around the net, slides it in front. Save made by Fuhr on a deflection by Fleury. And the Blues able to clear the zone. Eastwood pushing it ahead. Atchingham gets there, but he was hooked off the puck by Sylvain Lefebvre.
What a play by Forsberg. Forsberg throwing the puck into an opening, knowing that Pronger's reach is difficult to play against, so he threw it in an opening and then went after the puck.
Eastwood breaks in. He shoots, deflected by Gusarov, who got over. Good play by Alexei Gusarov. 9:17 remaining in the third period.
Al Forsberg makes the play behind the net. Theo Fleury and Al McInnes, former teammates. They know each other well, and McInnes so good with the stick. Was able to take Fleury down. That's one way to make sure that Fleury doesn't get a shot on goal.
They played in Calgary on the Flames Stanley Cup championship team in 1989. Al McInnes now in his 5th season with the St. Louis Blues. Both moving on. Theo Fleury was the Rock for over 10 years in Calgary. One of their top players, their all-time leading scorer. And now is moved on to Colorado. Will he be with Colorado next season? We'll see what free agency brings for Theo Fleury.
A lot of teams interested in Theo Fleury. All the things that he can do.
Foot plays it off the boards. Nice play to Hayduk into the middle. Lemieux. Shot by Drury wide. So Bob Hartley has changed things up a little bit. He's got the rookies Hayduk and Drury together with Lemieux, and he had the big three together on the last shift. He had Sakic with Forsberg and Fleury. Offside was whistled. Excuse me, a hand pass was whistled on Colorado in the offensive zone.
Well, Drury started the season at center, and then Bob Hartley elected to move him to the wing because he didn't want Drury to lose confidence, because in his system, the centermen have much more responsibility. So that's why he moved Drury to the wing. But he knows that he can use him there, and Drury has been one of the top rookies all season.
The Family Guy, followed by the X-Files. All begins at 7 o'clock on Fox. Well, 8:59 remaining in this third period of a good game. Now, that youngster getting a little tired, but she's enjoyed this game. Now she's getting back in it. Don't want to miss the big finish here. It's been a good one between the Blues and the Avs. Colorado Only once in the last 8 games in which they're unbeaten have they given up more than 2 goals in a game.
They have scored 3 goals or more.
Rolls behind the net. Miller was double teamed. And Sakic able to come up with a puck. So here's the big 3. Sakic, Forsberg, and Fleury playing together for Colorado. Fleury across. Ozolinsh going in deep.
The big 4.
That's right. Score! Peter Forsberg redirecting the pass. And Colorado has regained the lead. It's 3-2.
That's Sanders Ozolinsh. He joined the rush, got involved, so they had 4 players up front. And he ends up making the pass from the corner. So the change, here's Ozolinsh here. Look at him. He's the 4th one going up on the play. He ends up with it, turns the other way, and there goes Forsberg right to the middle. So Forsberg hung back when he saw Ozolinsh go up, and then when he saw he had time, he took off right to the middle, was able to get past Blair Atchingham. The perfect pass. What a pass. Ozolinsh, the perfect deflection from Forsberg past Grant Fuhr, and that gives the Avalanche a 3-2 lead. All his skill, so much can happen when Ozolinsh is on the ice, and now for 12 games in succession, the Avalanche have scored 3 or more goals.
Peter Forsberg's 30th goal of the season gives him 97 points. He's tied with Paul Kariya for 3rd in the league in scoring. Jágr 1, Solani 2, and Forsberg and Kariya tied for 3rd. Sean Donovan trying to get out in front. He was stopped by Jeff Finley. Yell's got the puck. Second time the Avalanche have had the lead in the game. They led 2-1. They now lead 3-2. Donovan behind the net. Able to move it to Podine. Try to get it to Stefan Yell, but Finley broke it up. Dimitra stopped. Lefebvre's shot blockered away by Grant Fuhr. And cleared out by Michel Picard. Forsberg now has a 7-game point scoring streak. Dimitra double team. And the puck played by Chris Drury. Ozolinsh and Fleury get the assists on the goal at 11:30. Forsberg 30th of the season.
Damn, it was interesting. Bob Hartley before the game said he's not going to worry about matchups. He's just going to keep rolling 4 lines to get ready for the playoffs. Well, when things weren't going well, he didn't hesitate to change things around,
yeah,
did he?
that's right.
And get that goal.
Put the big 3 out there plus Ozolinsh, and they made something happen offensively. 7:15 to go in the 3rd. Forsberg also now has a 4-game goal scoring streak with 5 goals in the 4 games.
Well, again, Colorado wants the number 2 seed in the West, just in case there's a 7th game against Detroit.
That's right.
They want to play that at home.
Up the boards past Forsberg and played by McInnes. Under 7 minutes to go.
I'm sorry, Sam. Again, that's only assuming that that's the way it shakes out.
Here's a chance for Pellerin. Glove saved by Waugh. Good hustle by Scott Pellerin. Quick to the puck. Got off the shot quickly, and Waugh with a good save.
Yeah, he just took advantage of the loose puck, and Patrick Waugh made the save look easy. Just takes advantage. Here it is. He pulls and lets it go right there, quickly. Didn't get everything on it, and look at Patrick Waugh. His concentration, you could see his eyes looking straight down at the puck all the way, watching that puck go directly into the glove, and then is able to cover up and hold on.
Scott Pellerin, 20 goals on the season, as Joe mentioned earlier. A career year for him offensively, been strong defensively as well.
And a real leader, Sam. When Pierre Turgeon, one of the assistant captains, was out of the lineup with an injury, they gave the other assistant captaincy to Pellerin. And even when he came back, they gave the A back to Turgeon, and they took a magic marker, and on the inside of his jersey, they made a big A on the logo on the inside of the jersey, and just to kind of remind him what a leader he is on the team, and a kind of a thank you.
Yeah, it shows how much they think of him. Fleury tied up in the line by Eastwood, and it's an offside on Colorado. Eastwood with a strong play in the 2nd period. See some of the scoring in this one.
Well, Turgeon makes the play there. That made it 1-0. The goal by Scott Young on a great play. And then the deflected shot. Fleury takes a shot, deflects off the stick of Chris Pronger. That tied the game at 1. And then Hunter, with 6 men on the ice, takes a shot off the post and in. to make it a 2-1 game. But then Dimitra, what a play from Dimitra from his own end. Splits, shot, save, and then getting the rebound was Michel Picard to tie the game at 2.
And the Avs have untied it on the Peter Forsberg goal. Avalanche had a goal disallowed in the first period for a man with a skate in the crease. One that was a tough call. It was a great effort on the play by the Colorado Avalanche.
And then the Blues had one disallowed as well. Kind of a quick whistle.
That's right.
The whistle had blown, so that was a non-goal as well. We've seen a little bit of everything in this game. And again, both teams have had playoff intensity. They've played well. They've played sharp. They've made the smart plays. There hasn't been a lot of high risk being taken by either team. And you can tell that both these coaches, Joe Quenneville and Bob Hartley, have gotten their teams ready and psyched to play in the playoffs. And as we mentioned at the start, Sam, both teams are playing their best hockey of the season right now.
Bob Hartley gave his team 2 days off just to get away from hockey this week after their win over Nashville on Wednesday night. They had 2 full days off, had a good practice yesterday before coming to St. Louis.
In fact, the organization gave everybody off.
Right.
They locked the doors. They didn't want anybody working.
No hockey today.
No.
And the day after. Picard with 5:35 to go in the third. And the Blues down a goal. Good play by Forsberg. Took out Picard. Ozelinch lost it to McInnes.
Now, if the Blues want to try and tie this game, they're going to try and do it with Ozelinch on the ice. They're going to try and pressure him or try and catch him moving up in the play offensively. Let's see if he does.
Martechko is tied up. Picard's got the puck against Aaron Miller. Dimitra, the other forward for St. Louis. Miller still wrapped up with Picard, knocked his helmet off. Blues able to keep it in. And Miller still roughing up. And Picard, the fans roar. Another hit by Forsberg. And finally, the Avs take the puck away and clear it out. And those boos, I think, are directed at referee Rob Schick. I think the fans here wanted a call as Picard was being roughed up along the boards.
Now, this game hasn't changed from the opening faceoff. That's the type of game we have seen by both teams. They're playing hard, they're playing tough, and no one wants to give.
Bergeron across. Slides it for Scott Young. Young with a goal in the game. Puts it in the crease. Missed, deflected, a save made. I think it bounced off one of the Avalanche players on goal, and Waugh was able to stop it.
I believe it was Gusarov coming back on the play.
Here's Young moving in. Young fakes the shot. Young against Gusarov. Slides it toward the crease, but it was blocked by Sakic. Pellerin's got it. Pellerin puts it through the crease. And Theo Fleury there to play it. Sakic and Hayduk, they're back together. And an offside is whistled with 4:07 to go in the third. And Colorado leading St. Louis 3-2. At the Rangers in what could be Wayne Gretzky's last game of his career. There's a lot of talk about that. Here's a steal by Sean Donovan. He got tripped up by Pearson. Penalty upcoming to the Blues. Donovan. Bodine worked it into the corner to Yell. The back pass to Fleury just off the bench. It was blocked. And the Blues touch the puck in a power play coming up to Colorado with 3:50 to go in the third, and the Avs leading at 3-2.
Blues have control of the puck here, and this is just a good play by Donovan. Puck bouncing and rolling a little bit. He gets in the way. Look, he's all alone and gets tripped down by that man right there, Pearson. Now, I think that's a good argument for a penalty shot. No one was around him.
But he didn't have control, Joe.
Well, the puck was right. He's just skating into it, I know that's something else that we've talked about before, Sam, and I
you like more penalty shots.
I like more penalty shots in the league. I don't think there's enough, one every 40 games.
By rule, you have to have control of the puck.
Yeah.
One of the guidelines for a penalty shot is you must have control of the puck. Sean Donovan didn't. And I think that's
even though it was 10 feet in front of him and he was skating into it.
It was bouncing and he was falling down.
He was skating into
it. In any event, it's a power play for the Avalanche as Pearson is called for tripping at 16-10. Avs are 0 for 3 on the power play in the game. Pellerin with a takeaway. Pellerin with 5 shorthanded goals. The Blues could use one right here. They're down 3-2. Ozelinch drops it off. Fleury, nice pass across. Sakic, save made by Fuhr. Rebound, bounce to the crease, and Pronger clears.
And Colorado leading by a goal. 3 minutes to go in the game. Instead of using the 4 forwards on the power play and 1 defenseman, they've got their best defensive defenseman on the ice as well. Adam Foote.
He's on with Oselinch up front. Forsberg, Sakic, and Fleury for the power play. Dimitra has come on for St. Louis with Achinum. Dimitra with a takeaway, moves in, big drive, saved by Waugh. The rebound chipped over the top. There was a scoring chance by Pavel Dimitra.
Giveaway by Oselinch, tried to go through the middle with the pass, and Dimitra read it, anticipated, and had the chance himself.
Back the other way, Fleury gave it up to Pronger. Pronger leads Terry Yake. Yake drops it to Dimitra. He's bumped at the line. Good play by Aaron Miller. Dale Hunter for Colorado. 40 seconds to go on the power play. 2:25 to go in the third. Claude Hayduke moves into Lemieux, and it was broken up by Turgeon. Miller's got it back.
And again, now Miller, who hasn't seen time on the power play, he's out on the ice again for defensive purposes.
Miller with Kucherov. Kucherov on the puck. 20 seconds to go. The Colorado power play. Pronger tied up with Lemieux. Terry Yake's got the puck for St. Louis. Now Jeff Finley, and Finley sends it all the way down. Just under 2 minutes to go in the third period, with Colorado leading 3-2. Stefan Yell. Teams are back at full strength. Podine works it behind the St. Louis net. A big collision, and Pure was upended as Yell went sliding into the crease. Eastwood the other way, drops it off. The back pass to McInnes, who turns, fakes the shot. Pass across. Yell just coming back into the play, intercepted.
And it was Al McInnes that knocked Yell down, and he slid into Grant Fuhrer, and then McInnes had control of the puck, faked the shot, hoping that he could get everyone going one way and pass the puck the other way.
Icing was whistled on the play.
Now here's the play by Dimitra, stealing the puck, the long shot. Again, Patrick Waugh's positioning was perfect. Made the save look easy with the glove. Here it is again. Long shot, hard shot. Patrick Waugh, one save, and then is able to watch as the other one's deflected. There's McInnes knocking Yell into the net, into Grant Fuhrer. And then the Blues went on the rush the other way. It looked like McInnes ended up with the chance, but because the Colorado forward went down to block the shot, McInnes decided to dish it off, and Yell came all the way back hard. And that's something that Bob Hartley talked about, Sam. One of the reasons they're playing so well is that their players are back-checking so well, coming back into the zone defensively.
They've really worked on that in practice. They feel they've got the offense. Now they need to refine and sharpen their defense for the playoffs. Dallas has beaten LA 6-2 as they continue to dominate LA in their season series. Turgeon on the face-off against Sakic.
And now McInnes right behind Turgeon.
Sakic wins it. Kucherov moves the puck. Minute 20 to go in regulation time. 3-2. Colorado leading it. Good job by Pronger to keep it in, and then it's cleared out by Fleury. McInnes fires it in. Fuhrer has gone to the bench for an extra skater. Blues net is empty. Puck cleared out, and Pronger goes to get it. Scott Young as the extra players come on. Dimitra is on as well for St. Louis. Turgeon on the puck. Turgeon across. He shoots, saved by Waugh. Rebound batted wide by Picard. Turgeon behind the net. Puts it in front. It comes through. Pronger works it deep to Turgeon. Turgeon around to Dimitra behind the net. Dimitra holding, looking. Slides it into the crease. Save made by Waugh. It's cleared by Adam Foote.
That's a good save. Pronger had moved in from the point. There were players in front of Waugh, and he reacted and made a very good save.
30 seconds to go. Pronger plays it off the boards. Foote goes back for it. Dimitra after him. Behind the net, Kucherov. Young there to block it for St. Louis. Sakic tried to move it. Now it's fired all the way down toward the empty net, and it goes in. Alexei Kucherov from near the boards, deep in his own zone, finds the empty net, and Colorado has put it away.
Sam, that puck was on edge, and it took a right-hand turn, I think, a couple of times. From the blue line in, Kucherov, I'm sure, is just trying to clear the puck out of the zone. Here's all the play over here. Sakic, there's Kucherov. Now look at that, shot's going wide. Here it is. Watch it turn right. I mean, that made a right-hand turn, and just inside the post for the shorthand. I mean, Kucherov doesn't have time to look where he's clearing it. He just wants to get rid of it. And there's a puck on edge, and that thing turned right a couple of times into the empty net. And when things are going well, They're going right.
Third of the season for Alexei Kucherov. He's saying, I had it all the way. I put a little draw on it, and it went right where I wanted it to go. 1942, time of the empty net goal. Avalanche will go unbeaten in 9 games. 8-0-1. And now they've picked up a big 2 points. It looks like it'll be a big 2 points because Pittsburgh is leading Detroit 3-0. This one is over. Another win in the bank for Patrick Roy. His 411th career victory. 34 saves for him, and he's our new Dodge player of the game. The Colorado Avalanche continue their mastery over the St. Louis Blues with a strong effort on the road as they score 2 goals in the third. Forsberg got the game winner, then the empty net goal. 4-2 is the final.